Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing the long-awaited sequel to my video series, I guess now, of videos archiving my experiences at Comic-Cons and sort of nerdy gaming, just sort of events and sort of hangouts, whatever you want to call them, that I've experienced over the years. I obviously watched my previous one to refresh my brain of sorts. So yeah, that kind of covers, the first part, if you were curious, kind of covers the 2015 Sheffield Comic Con, which was my first Comic Con and comic book convention that I went to 2017's Sheffield, nope, not Sheffield, Keighley Comic Con, and that. Yeah, so now we're doing obviously 2018 as well as up to most current ones in 2019, so might be a bit more on the short side, but yeah. Firstly, what did I do firstly? York Comic Con. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, it was funny, I'd recorded that video just like, I distinctly remember like a few days just before my mum or me and my friend Michael had, we'd all sort of kind of cottoned on to the idea of, hey, maybe we could go to York Comic Con and that. So yeah, because that was a thing that we did. 2018, I think it was in August as well, and that, I guess most of these conventions happen sort of July, August time because it coincides with like school holidays, and you know, it's a great experience for, you know, kids and, you know, adults who are children at heart and all that, or man-childs even words, but yeah, it was yeah, it was really, really good, that one. I mean, in terms of sort of the size of the convention, I'd say it was on the bigger side. I'd still say Sheffield Comic Con is the biggest comic book convention that I've been to, but then maybe York. They're very close, they're neck and neck, really. And then there are two other conventions that are lower on the scale in terms of, you know, scope and or size of the actual convention centre-y type place they've held it at. And that, I only mention this knowing full well that more than likely a lot of people who either do attend or haven't attended maybe yet are maybe younger people or people who, much like myself, have anxiety issues around being in big crowds and all that. And that, and also just because, you know, it's sometimes people need that sort of reassurance or confirmation of whether or not something is, you know, what they expect it to be and that. But yeah, so yeah, York Comic Con, it was at the horse racing track thing, which is a thing. My mum drove there. So yeah, it was really good. I met Paul McGann, my second/third favourite Doctor, and I only say that because Peter Capaldi, it's always neck and neck between Peter Capaldi and Paul McGann as second and third, and that. So yeah, got him to sign my Regenerations book set, which is up there, and you know, just asked him the world's longest question. And I think I asked him something to bloody hell, it's so warm. Something along the lines of like, you know, going from like your early adventures in the Month of the Range to your more recent, you know, Time War box sets and stuff. Like, was it a conscious decision on your part to play the part, you know, more darker and that, and evolve the character that way, to that sort of thing? And I think he said that, like, you know, originally with the 1996 TV movie they were always planning on making it darker, or having his incarnation be darker eventually, you know, progress and that as a character. So So I don't know if it was very much him wanting to have the part darker, or if it was just more the scripts, but either way, it was nice that he tried to answer my question in that as clear as possible, because I was just like totally nerding out, and that, and then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and then I was just like, you know, because I'd asked him the world's longest question, so then I was like, you know, I need to, you know, chuck the ball back into his corner, as it were, sort of thing, and then was just like, you know, and thanks so much for everything you've done with the character of the Eighth Doctor, you know, because he has done a lot with that character, and a lot more than you know, he ever really had to do with the character, really. And then he was like, you know, thanks, I do it all for the fans, and then shook my hand, and I was just like, oh my god, you know. Fan interaction wise, who did I meet? I met one person off Facebook, and that I have as a friend. I can't remember your name off the top of my head. Maybe it's Brian? I want to say. You were in a Dark Eyes 8th Doctor costume and that, and yeah, you were awesome. I was with you whilst, or we were stood together in line waiting for the Paul McGann photo shoot thing, and that kind of went a bit awry for me. I have very mixed feelings about that. I think in future I will just get pictures at the desk with the people and that, and not do that photo shoot thing. It's just I expected one thing and then it kind of happened a different way and that, and yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as, say, my friend Michael, who he was booked to have a picture with like Nicola Bryant and Colin Baker, and ended up not, because it was that kind of poorly sort of planned out or organised, I guess, which is a bit of a dick move on the person doing the photography thing. But I don't know, I mean, like, it just, yeah, it's just unfortunate, really. What was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, that reminds me, I also met and got a signature from Nicola Bryant, the actress who plays Perry, so that was pretty cool. So now, companion-wise, I've met Katie Manning and Perry, which is kind of ironic because I'm indifferent about Jo, and I'm not massively, like, I guess I'm indifferent as well to Perry. I mean, I've seen some stuff from the sort of Sixth Doctor's first season, which is okay. And then I haven't really experienced them much in audio, but she hasn't done a lot with the Sixth Doctor on audio, which is a bit weird considering she even is the main companion of the Sixth Doctor in the TV show. But she was super nice, got an actual picture with her at the desk, sort of thing, so that was awesome. As I say, she signed my Regenerations box set, so now I've got Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant's signatures, so that's awesome. And that, I guess I just need Bonnie Langford's one. Well, technically, wouldn't that go with Sylvester McCoy? Anyway, and then, so I met the one person from Facebook. I met another person from Facebook, a girl that I have, a female person. I'm terrible with names and even, like, just reading them and that. So she, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was in a Fifth Doctor Peter Davison cosplay, so that was awesome. I've never seen her at any convention myself, so that was awesome. Bumped into the YouTuber Ace Creeper as well, so that was pretty cool. Me and my friend Michael just had a very brief interaction, or just sort of, I think we both just said hi to him, and that's about it. Met, like, another Fourth Doctor cosplayer, because obviously I was the Fourth Doctor, as per usual. And he was awesome. He was just like, you know, even asked me, you know, where did you get the sweater vest from? I think I either got it from Amazon or eBay. Those are usually the two places I get parts for my cosplays for. He says, as though he has lots of cosplays. But yeah, there were a lot more Classic Who sort of oriented costumes and cosplays and that. which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of preferred seeing those than just the new ones. You know, at Sheffield Comic Con, for whatever reason, it was all just sort of David Tennant's, Matt Smith's, which is fine. Some Capaldi's, maybe one or two, which is again fine, totally fine. Just such a juxtaposition from that to, as I say, the you know, the elaborate costume of one woman having Eighth Doctor, Night of the Doctor costume, or some guy that I got a picture with. He had like the 1996 TV movie McGann costume, and that was awesome, and that. So, you know, I just a William Hartnell, a person in a William Hartnell costume, or a Sixth Doctor sort of dress, or whatever. I find those more sort of fascinating than some of the newer stuff. Not that I hate all the new Doctor's costumes by any means, but yeah. So that was York Comic Con. Also, obviously, got loads of merch. That'll be a video somewhere on the channel of all the merch I got that day. So from York, which was in August, York Comic Con was August 2018. Then from that, me and my brother went to sort of a museum in the city we live in. Even though in the previous video I called the city that I live in actually a town, which is wrong. It's actually a city. But basically, there's like a museum of sorts in the city that I live in, and so we went there because there was like a gaming thing, and it was pretty cool. And that, like, a lot of people from the universities as well from the city that I'm from was also sort of there, I think, as games design students, sort of just sort of testing out stuff and needing feedback and that. So that was a good excuse for me and my brother to, as I say, just play some random video games and that. So that was awesome, and just loads of cool like experimental stuff and that there. Talks as well. I think there were some people from the actual industry talking and stuff about games and that. So that was awesome. Really enjoyed that. That was like around my birthday as well, so that was pretty cool as well because yeah, so I just turned 21 then. 21? So it was around that general sort of vicinity of time, so that was cool. And then moving on from that, the next thing was Bradford Comic Con, and that was sort of, I'd say, I want to say bigger than Keighley Comic Con, but I'm not sure because it's like Keighley felt kind of bigger, but then it was in a smaller venue and it was more packed or compact and that, where like you couldn't move very much, and that, whereas with the Bradford one, it felt like the place was a bit more spacious and that. So yeah, that I went to that, met Peter Davison and that, so that was pretty cool. And that said that I really like the Five-ish Doctors and that, because there was a picture of that on the table, and I was just like, oh yeah, that was the thing, and that, I remember that. And yeah, that was pretty cool. He's the most recent Doctor that I've met at the Classic series. So now I only need Tom Baker's signature and or autograph, and that. And how ironic that, you know, I've saved the best till last, in my humble opinion, in so much as, you know, he's my personal favourite Doctor. So yeah, kind of funny, really, how that works out. It's going to be a bit of a ball ache because again he only does conventions down in like south of the country and that, but yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Bradford Comic Con, that was in March, sort of really early March. Bumped into a friend from school and that I hadn't seen for a while, so that was pretty cool. And that a lot of people who were doing the stalls and stuff kind of recognised my cosplay and that as the Fourth Doctor and that, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, standout piece of merch that I got off the top of my head that I just thought of was that I got a 1979 Doctor Who annual, Tom Baker one, and so that was pretty cool. What else? Oh, first time that I've ever actually, me and my mum went to a panel and that, and Pete Davidson was really funny and you know, that was a really cool sort of interesting experience and that. I get the feeling that my mum was just like, said we could do it just to sort of pad out the day and that, but that, no complaints from me, because, you know, what the hell, we got to go to a Doctor Who panel. I didn't get to ask a question, and that there was a few questions asked, but the person who was actually hosting it asked quite a lot of questions and that, and it was interesting. I've not listened to Sirens of Time, the first Big Finish audio in the monthly range, but apparently Peter Davison is kind of confused as to what the hell was going on with that one, and so if anyone could explain, please do feel free to tell me what it's about, or Peter anyway sort of said that. And he also kind of mentioned about how the classic series was coming to BrickBox, the BBC streaming service thing, which I didn't even know what BrickBox was at the time, but now I kind of have a better understanding, or a bit more of a better understanding, and so I thought that was cool that he was sort of plugging and or promoting that, I guess. So that was pretty cool, I guess, of him to do that. And then, yeah, as I say, that's most up to date sort of thing, comic book convention that I've been to and that. I know VorpCon is in September and that. I think it's literally just the day before I go on holiday with my family, so I don't think we'll be going, but which is a bit of a shame, because I'd love to go, because I know there's loads of like Doctor Who writers there and that, you know, like Paul Cornell, Robert Sherman, and Andrew Cartmel and that, and I'd love to meet those guys. You know, I think they're well, I don't know about VorpCon, but just generally I think they're sort of you know, sort of wising up to the idea that a lot of people who are into Doctor Who are also into the sort of production stuff and the writing process, and the monster people, or the people who, you know, work in visual effects or prosthetic, you know, sort of makeup artists, or sort of the people who are actually in the costumes and that, playing the baddies and that, you know, as well as, you know, the main you know, Doctor and companion sort of thing. And that, but yeah, so that's my time at conventions, part 2. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.